Hey, how's it going there everyone? It's Donk here, and welcome back to another Steam 2 video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some bad exotics. We usually don't do this, we usually try to look for the best, the things at the very top. But today we're actually going to be doing the opposite and looking at the bottom of the barrel. Looking at the worst exotics that are in the game, and that definitely need a change to make them a lot better. Some of these exotics are not worth the exotic slot, and others are just simply outclassed by some of the other exotics that they gotta compete against. So without further ado, let's take a look at the worst exotics in Destiny 2. Alright, so we're going to be starting this off with the Aeon exotics. The Aeon Save, the Aeon Swift, and the Aeon Soul. They're all exotic gauntlets for the Hunter, the Warlock, and the Titan. They all do the same thing, they all give ability energy whenever you use your class ability, except for the Warlocks. When they use a grenade, that's when they give the ability energy for some reason. These gauntlets are basically made so you start a cycle. You use your ability, give your teammates ability energy, they use their abilities, so you get your ability back, then you use it again, then they get it again. So yeah, it's just a cycle of people using abilities. So you use it as long as you want, until you finish the mission, or until you get bored of just spamming abilities, basically. The thing about this is that unless you're in a pre-made fire team all the time, that are always using the Aeon Swift gauntlets all the time to make them work, these things are pretty useless. You hardly ever see these gauntlets in the wild since they're so dependent on teammates, and since nobody wears them, if you do try to use them, then you pretty much just waste your exotic slot. The only ones that benefit are your teammates since it's supposed to work in the cycle, but when you're the only one that has them, then you just give a little bit of energy to your teammates, and it's not even that much because it's designed to be used by multiple people. Even if you wanted to use them just to support your teammates, they don't really give that much energy to be worth it over an exotic slot. All the other classes just gonna have better exotics to get back your ability energy or your grenade energy, and you can activate them without having to rely on teammates, so you can make it work even when you're just playing by yourself. So what this group of exotics was an interesting gimmick. It just definitely failed at doing anything impactful worth it of being used by multiple people in a team. Alright, so now moving up, we have a Warlock exotic, the Verity's Brow. And I wouldn't blame you guys for forgetting that this helmet even exists, because it's pretty forgettable. Its exotic perk, the 4 magic, allows your energy weapon kills to boost your grenade recharge rate for you and your nearby allies. So the more energy weapon kills that you get, the faster you're gonna get your grenades. But that's pretty much it. And this exotic kinda suffers from the same problems as the Aeon exotics, in which they just don't really do anything too special or something too major to make them be worth an exotic slot. This one's definitely a lot better than the Aeon exotics, since you don't really have to rely on teammates to actually make it work. This one you can just make it work by yourself, get your grenades back faster. But I don't really think that getting your grenades back a little bit faster is really worth of an exotic slot. Especially when there's other exotics out there is doing the same thing, but much better. Alright, for this next one we're changing it up a bit. We're actually going to be talking about a weapon instead of a piece of armor. And it's going to be the exotic rifle, the Hardlight. Oh, the Hardlight. You really would think that a weapon that can switch elements at will would be a lot more popular than it is, but not the Hardlight. I mean, you have all the elements, plus ricochet rounds, plus armor piercing rounds, plus no damage drop off. That sounds like an amazing weapon. But unfortunately, the Hardlight's biggest downfall is its damage and its usability. First of all, its damage is pretty low since it's a 600 RPM auto rifle. Not really the best types of auto rifles to take into anything related to PvE or even PvP. And they're not really that popular. People usually stick to either the very high rate of fire auto rifles, the 720s, or on the lower end on the 450s with some rampage. Unfortunately, the Hardlight doesn't really have anything to increase its damage, besides ricocheting rounds off the ground, which is not really an effective thing to do all the time. And the second reason why I think that people don't really use the Hardlight is all that goddamn screen shake when you fire the weapon. Not really sure why Bungie decided that the Hardlight needed to have all this goddamn screen shake, but this thing just kinda ruins the weapon for a lot of people, including myself. Why does the Hardlight have to shake so much? If only you took away that screen shake, maybe more people would actually use the Hardlight. But as it stands, the Hardlight is one of the least popular weapons, and you hardly ever see it, ever. Next up we have a Titan exotic, which is actually the worst and best Titan exotic in the game at the same time. And come on, it just looks beautiful. Doesn't that just give you some sweet dreams? But the exotic perk on this helmet is that solar damage kills will recharge the barrier. Yes, kinda similar to that Warlock exotic that we saw not that long ago. And also when you put your barrier, it will unleash a solar blast forward, doing some damage to any enemies that are in its path. So yeah, basically this has the same issue as the Warlock exotic, where it doesn't really do much. It doesn't do enough to be worth of an exotic slot. The solar blast is nice whenever you put your barrier, but it's not really gonna do too much. It may kill like a couple of smaller ads, but the damage it does, it's not like super high. And the Crucible can actually surprise people, and it can be pretty funny if you do kill somebody with it. But most of the time, you're not gonna kill anybody with it. There's so many good Titan exotics right now, that it's kinda hard to see a use for the Khepere's Horn. Unfortunately, the beautiful horn won't be getting any love anytime soon, unless it is changed. And lastly, for the most useless exotic armor, we have a Warlock exotic in the form of the Wings of the Sacred Dawn. Remember in Destiny 1 when we had this one perk for the Sun Singer, Angel of Light, that nobody ever really used? People would kinda use it to kinda mess around, but it wasn't anything too useful. Well, how about we take that perk that almost nobody used and turn it into an exotic armor piece? And that's basically what the Wings of the Sacred Dawn are. When you have your Dawnblade equipped, aiming your weapons will suspend you in the air for a short period of time, and if you do some damage while you're in the air, you get to stay in the air for longer. So, yeah, basically you get to become a bigger target by just floating up in the air. And yeah, pretty much it. That's pretty much it. It's quite a shame that this is such a bad exotic because it actually looks pretty cool. You have the golden wings, you have some gold and black on your robe. It would be nice if this thing did something a little more useful. Maybe like reduce the cooldown on Icarus Dash. Maybe you cut it down by half, since you know you do have wings. So I guess it would kind of make sense a little if this reduced the cooldown on Icarus Dash instead. Because if Bungie actually did that for this exotic, I could definitely see a lot more people running it. Because I know people like their Icarus Dash, so being able to use it more often would definitely be a very nice benefit. But yeah, there's not much I can say about the Wings of the Sacred Dawn, besides they're pretty bad, and they definitely need an urgent rework to make them better. But anyways guys, with that we're gonna end today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, dislike if you did, and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. Let me know in the comments below, how do you guys think that this exotic should be reworked to make them a little bit better. Also, if there's any other exotics that you guys think that deserve a rework because they're just not really that good, let me know in the comments below. And if there's enough comments, maybe I'll make a part 2 of this. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care everyone. Have a good day.